Well, I'm just gonna make the decision to go ahead and pull it. It didn't really seem to make it any better. I think the damage is done. A plugged up air cleaner should not, it's not gonna help it run. It's gonna smoke really bad with the air fuel, being way off when the engine can't breathe properly. But it shouldn't make it have blow-by. Blow-by and that uneven crank is obviously something's wrong with the cylinder, especially when it starts pushing oil like that. And it does. It's got a power programmer and all that stuff in it, and that's usually not very good for them. So, window washer. We're gonna take this take this all out. Gotta get a screwdriver and get this intake boot off. See? Something attached over here though that I did not see. Nothing was plugged into it. I guess it's for fog lights if you had them. I don't ever remember seeing that wire on there before. On the other ones I did. See, and then you got to pull your wiring loose here. I don't know if that's going to come loose in a decent manner or not. It's probably going to spin the whole thing. It's actually going to come loose. That's quite impressive. Usually that doesn't work out like that. You can get this one cable pulled across over here. I can see a lot of guys on the channel mentioning Pakistani truck repair, and I watch those guys from time to time too when I have a chance to. And I'm not, I understand that some of you guys, just right out of the gate, it's pretty impressive, a lot of the stuff that they do, I think. They don't have a nice service truck like we do over here, and crane and everything. They have to do with what they have. So I think it's pretty impressive, to be honest with you, what they do over there. And to be completely honest with you, the way that our country's heading right now, I think a lot of you guys, you might start looking at those guys like at Pakistani truck repair, and you might start looking at the way they do things, because you know what? We might have to start learning how to do some of the things they have to do, because we're quickly becoming just like their country is. We're becoming a third world country. We really are. And it's nothing, I know somebody will say I'm being political. It's not political. Just look at what's happening. We're becoming a third world country. So we can't hardly get parts right now. I mean, that's the thing with those guys over there. A lot of that stuff they probably can't get. That's why they have to make stuff and make do with what they've got, because they can't get it. And that's just the facts of the way things are. You're going to have to, times are going to get tough, folks, and I'm not being political. It's just the facts. Look at the way things are going. It's going to get tough. And what I go ahead and do is just go ahead and pull the valve cover off on them. Engine's going to get completely torn down anyway. There was one bolt missing on this one here, so when we pull this thing off, we'll have to pull this valve cover off. We'll pull all the rocker pedestals off and all the push rods out, and then we'll it just helps with the clearance here. It's really tight when you come past this the firewall here. It's really tight. Let me get this radiator hose out of my way. I just take these 3 bolts out here where the thermostat is. Just pop the thing out of the way. I mean, not really in a big rush to get it out. I mean, a lot of this stuff that you're going to have to pull loose once you get the motor out anyway. So here's this grid heater wiring. Have a busy week this week. We gotta, I don't know, I'll hopefully carry their Diesel Cast West gets my I got a 12.5 liters. You can see right here. Here's the intake. Here's the camshaft out of the intake manifold gasket, intake manifold, turbo exhaust manifold gasket, all that shit there. I had a 12.5 liter blow ahead gasket, and to be completely honest with you, so guys, remember the 9620T? That's not the 9620T. That's a 9320T. Same owner. Same owner. He owns 2 of those 9320Ts with 12.5 liters and one 9620T with that 12.5 liter, the one we had all the trouble with. And so now he's got this one that blew a head gasket. And you'll love to hear this. So the 9620 was going to replace that one in the field that day because they hadn't run that 9620 all summer since we got done with it, right? So I gotta get this wiring undone here for the grid heaters. Get it strung out of the way. He's got everything in the world zip tied to it though. They went to take that 9620T out the other day and they made the first round with it and put the ripper in the ground and it was overheating. And you know, I rode that thing all the way from McDowell to Dorris, which is 10 miles. And I didn't have any problems with it, but I didn't have a load on it either. And the owner called me and I just said, well, I mean, I'm not trying to get out anything. If there's something that I did and they find it, tell me, I'll come fix it, but I'm pretty certain there isn't. If there is, let me know. But I said I would be calling the dealer and telling them that, hey, you got another engine problem here and come fix this thing. So we're kind of in a hurry on this 12.5 liter head. Once he gets it, but the problem is he needs one with the drawbar, or he needs one with the hitch on the back. and to pull his 3-point ripper. He's got a bunch of ground down south he's been producing on. So he took his other 9320, the one I rebuilt the power shift in years ago. He took that one down to Coachella to farm down there with it. So now we'll just leave that like that. Okay. We'll have to get that exhaust loose back in there. Let's take a little bit of this WD-40 here maybe, and spray on the bolt of that. That would probably, and just let it kind of soak for a little while. Maybe that'll help us a little bit. Let it soak down. Maybe it'll come off a little bit easier once she's ready to do it. Okay, where are we at now? So a lot of this stuff here, this aftermarket harness that they've got plugged in here, it's going to have to, what do they got here? What kind of power program? They got an Edge, yeah, that's what I thought. It's got an Edge power programmer. All that'll have to be undone because it's out here, so that just adds to the length of the process, and people start adding stuff on there. So which one's the aftermarket one? This one here is the aftermarket. This is the factory. Oh man. Plug the factory one back in. Okay. Same thing over here. I probably don't really need to plug the factory ones in. It's all going to have to come off anyhow. We'll just take this aftermarket harness and lay it aside over here. Those heads from John Deere, I called on one and there was only 2 of them available in the country. 12.5 liter head from Deere. And they were a little over $12,000 for that cylinder head. I can't get underneath there to get it pop loose. Let's see if we can get our little screwdriver out on our Leatherman here and get in there maybe. All right. And let me find my light. I don't know what I did with that. Huh. I laid it down somewhere. Don't know where it's at, so use the phone with flashlight for right now. Might have to go get a real screwdriver when it's a little bit longer to get underneath this tab. There we go. Okay, what else do they got? Injector or something here. Yeah, that's right. 2 on every one. And then there's something down here on this Edge harness. Now we might as well pull the serpentine belt off and pull the power steering pump out of the way. I know it's a lot easier. Getting that out there and out of the way. It's a Dodge, ram it. just gonna get that out of the way right now. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the damper off right now. Our steering pump, and lines. I don't want to pull that pulley, to be honest with you. Trying to remember how I pulled that line before. I had that light. I don't know what the hell I did with my light I had. There's a line here somewhere on it. I'm trying to remember where it was. How this all goes down. This power steering, there's the obviously the one line going into the reservoir. I don't remember how I did that. I think I took it off, and then I believe those are 13s. Well, let's just see what happens, I guess, huh? I don't remember. There's the 3 bolts. Yeah. Should pop out of it. I don't know if we just want to leave it here like this. It'd probably just be the easiest thing to do, huh? Just leave it right there out of the way. What's this here? That's going to be the ground cable. This ground will have to come loose. And then this other ground here, we can pull it loose. Yeah, I'm going to do that next. I'm going to pull these 2 grounds loose on the block. And then the high side line off the compressor. Yeah, this one here. Let's see, wait a second. Suction line's coming up. That'll have to come off as well. And then the the clutch, what the hell? I guess I need to unplug that. Or plug that up. I didn't plug that power steering coolant return line. Let me put a bucket under that. I forgot to do that last night when I was in here. Okay, well, that's what I'm going to do here. Pull the grounds off. Let's see here. Let's go read the book for a second. Some of the stuff I kind of jumped around here, so if you're wondering, this is Identifix. This program cost me about $180 a month, and it has just about everything you want for automotive on it. Alright, where are we at? Alright, so that's done. I haven't drained the oil off the engine yet. Most of that's done. Fans out of it, fan shrouds out, remove radiator pros, that's done. That's done. Okay, haven't done the transmission and transfer case yet. Disconnect exhaust pipe from turbocharger, that's not done yet. I'll do that when I'm underneath and I get the transmission out of it. Then disconnect engine harness to vehicle harness connectors, haven't done that yet. Remove the starter, haven't done that yet. Remove flywheel flex plate, remove transmission adapter. Disconnect AC suction discharge hose from the AC compressor. Need to do that. We can do that while we're standing at the... I'm just doing the stuff that's pretty much I can reach right here. What else? Remove radiator. If AC equipped, disconnect AC condenser, refrigerant lines. That's already been pretty much done. Disconnect charger cooler piping. All that stuff's been done. AC condenser's been removed. Remove damper and speed indicator ring from front of engine. They want you to do that. See, they're doing it without pulling that cross member out like I usually do. Remove lower fan shroud bracket 3 from engine. Okay. Which would be this bracket right here. Remove upper fan shroud bracket from engine. Disconnect engine block heater connector. Disconnect AC compressor and pressure sensor electrical connectors. Remove the passenger battery ground cable and the driver's side battery ground cable. Remove the power steering pump from the engine by removing 3 bolts. Disconnect the ECM power connector. So there's quite a few things that we can do right here from the front of the engine. Here's our ECM stuff right here. Those should be just like everything else, a 4mm Allen. Our grounds on our batteries both. I might just go ahead and get this lower radiator hose popped off of there. Actually, that'll all come off when I pull this bracket off, I think. Yeah, but they want you to take the damper off, maybe for clearance, I guess, to get past here. I'm gonna have to get my 1/2-inch gun for that. Alright, so I got all the fuel lines off. What we're doing right here is we're going to pull the feed tube adapters, and then we're going to pull the all the rocker pedestals and feed tubes and injectors and all that stuff. I forgot that. I gotta pull that map sensor out of there so I can get on that one. What was that all about? And I got a little kind of a lift and eye thing that we'll put back right around in here. Is the lift and eye back here, I already got it off so I could get to the back fuel line. Okay, there's your that's right, that one there I gotta... Oh, I'm trying to remember what holds that one down in there. Torx, I think. Map sensor. And then, let's see here, we pull our injector. Well, we can go ahead and pull the rocker pedestals off and get the push tubes out of it. We got this one way back here. Oh, that's right, I had to use an extension, I think, to get on that one. I think I could get the right angle or something on it. That might be. Maybe. I think I partially loosened it when I took the fuel line off. That's what happens a lot of times on those. Alright, so I just gotta get that one out, but we can go ahead and get the rocker pedestals off. Could probably get our injector lines, or injector wires loose. Looking for my cordless impact, or right angle impact, I should say. These should be captured nuts on these, so. And gonna have to get something different for those. Okay, let's see here. We want to pull rocker pedestals next. We'll get the easy ones here first. That's all we're going to be able to get to right now without tearing something up, so lay them in order as they came out on the bench. So I'll be back. I'm just going to pull the rest of these rocker pedestals, valve bridges. I'm going to pull everything off the top end here and get this rocker box loose. Alright, so we're going to pop this rocker box off here if it wants to come loose. Most of the time they come loose fairly easy, but okay, did I get this one loose? I did not get this one loose. That's why it's not coming loose on this end. I thought, man, that usually comes off there a lot easier than that. This oil's not being changed like it ought to on this thing. That's probably going to be part of the failure on it. She's pretty black, grimy stuff. Okay, rocker box. Okay guys, let's pull our injectors out of there. We'll get them loose right quick. We can find our, put our feed tubes out. Let's see, I'm trying to remember. And the whole purpose and reason I'm doing a lot of this in the vehicle is the clearance right here. It makes life a lot easier. There is a button off of. That's got to be off a rocker. It's one of the buttons off one of the rockers. These are always falling off. Half the time you got to put new rockers on them when you go back together with them. That's usually an indication of guys not changing their oil. So get them loose like that. Let's get the other two injectors loose, and then we'll start pulling feed tubes out. I don't know if I got my tool with me here for that or not. If not, I can improvise with fuel lines. You can use the fuel line too to hook on there and put a bar on it and pop them out of there. You don't have to have the special tool. Okay, usually if you just get one side loose, the other side will.
had watched the guy one time, the feed tubes were still in it, and he was prying on the injector trying to get it out, and I said, dude, you got to pull that feed tube out of there. Oh, it'll come past it. Okay, man. Needless to say, he was putting new feed tubes in there because he put pry bars under there and he was bending the feed tubes. He was prying on it so hard, I just sitting there going, wow, this is unbelievable. You can tell him, you just can't tell him much. And on these back 4 push rods, I just leave them in until I get the engine out. You can pull them out, you gotta pull this all loose, and there's a couple holes right here, some knockouts that you can deal with. Gotta get this back one to come loose. It's being kind of ornery on me. A little hard-headed. Okay, let me see if I can find that tool. Here's that tool right here. Miller tool. It's a 9015 Miller tool. It'll just thread on there like so. Most of the time you can just pull them out by hand, most of the time. Just like so. But if you don't want to work so hard at it, you can just go like that right there and just put your bar on the lip of that tool. That's the one I still got to get the map sensor out of the way so I can get the feed tube nut off. Trying to remember, does this back one come? Remember if that back one comes clear out of there or not? I don't have to. Yeah, there it goes, right on the ground. So I'll go find that. I knocked a feed tube nut down there too somewhere. And I like to take all these and put them on the bench, and then we can pop our injectors out. Alright, pop all of them out except for the one I haven't popped the feed tube nut out with yet. That one's loose. That one's loose. That one's got the feed tube nut on it still. Oh, come on. I'm not really concerned too much with, well, that's right, with the, probably going to put injectors in it anyway. I think it's a wise thing if you're going to rebuild the engine. I might send them off to organ fuel injection and let those guys go through them. It'll be a little cheaper, and we got a little time while we're waiting on the kit, and we don't know what kind of machine work we're going to be involved with either. Maybe I'll save myself a little time, and I'll just get an end wrench and take that one
feed tube nut loose. And of course, so we got to pull the shift tower off. This got a manual transmission. That's not real good, is it? That doesn't feel real secure, even for a cracker jackass like me. So let's get the shift lever off the transfer case. I think there's going to be a bolt. Let's see here. There's going to be one back in here somewhere. Trying to get things situated. This thing's got radios and all kinds of shit in it, so I think we got to pull this little condom out of here. Get that little condom out of there. There we go. I think that socket just... There it is. Okay. Put a Dodge in your garage. No, thank you. Damn, I don't know if that's going to fit down in that recess, that impact socket, huh? Oh, look out. Shit going on here. Got shit flying everywhere. What the hell's going on here? Yeah, it's got a bunch of shit down in the hole as usual. Oh, my damn battery come out of there. This one's got a bunch of shit down. Oh no, it's not going to fit in there. So I got to get like a, sorry about that. I'm all backwards here. So I got to get a 1/4" drive socket or something. My impact socket won't fit down in there. Okay. Alright, so I got to get this. Golly, be nice to, hey, we'll stick to that. Could have stuck to the cigarette lighter. It's the only damn thing metal in the whole damn rig. Get on up out of there. Should pop up. I'm trying to remember how I did that. At least it's got a manual transmission in it. It's one saving thing about a Dodge. It's better than having an automatic in it. Dodge's automatics are absolute garbage. Garbage transmissions. I used to rebuild them for people. Anymore, I don't want anything to do with a Dodge automatic transmission. They're just prone to failure. They're always screwed up. I mean, always. Screwed up. Okay. Get that up like that, and then I'm trying to remember what held the shift tower on there. Oh yeah, I remember now. Okay, I remember now. Let's go over here where we can see on the passenger side of the vehicular. Okay. Let me see if I can get my light somewhere. Yeah, and you gotta take all these screws out here. And then pull this boot up. Okay. This is that cherry picker I bought from that gal that was having an estate sale. Black Hawk. I mean, this is one stout old cherry picker. I've been waiting to use this thing, and I finally got my chance. You know, most of the stuff I do with my crane, but I thought this would be the perfect job for this. It's got a 4,000 capacity, but the legs are out where it's on the 2,500 pound mark. I mean, it lifted that up no problem there, like nothing. Okay, so what else did I think there's a pyrometer he's got hooked up here that we need to get loose. I think other than that, let's see, what do we got going on over here? This part of the harness should come
with it. I think actually the only thing that we forgot was the pyrometer. That's unbelievable. And I got this here tool for that. Let's just go ahead and whip it real good. This here tool right here will get that sucker off. They tell you in that Identifix, that service manual there, to take the flywheel and the adapter plate and all that stuff off. I didn't do that. I didn't really see the need to do that in the vehicle. I pulled the clutch off just to lighten it up a little bit. That's easy to get off, you know. This is that kind of a adapter flywheel that's got the stupid, where the bolts come out from the front side of the plate. They're kind of a pain. Alright, pyrometer's out of it. Oh. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. Where can I put this at? Maybe like right around in here, maybe? Yeah, how's that? Pull this back a little bit. Okay, pan's up against the cross member. Make sure when I start raising up on her, we don't have other issues. Go ahead and pull these push rods here out while I can. I like this quarter power type setup. It's kind of handy. You can see, instead of Wayne being way back there, you know, where you can't see nothing. Very stiff. What the hell's going on here? It's acting like it don't want to. It's stiff. How we doing? How we doing? A little bit more. Just a little bit more. I should be able to clear that back there. Push rod might be a little bit of a problem coming past the insulation there. Only kind of halfway clear on the cross member. I'm hanging up. Yeah, I'm hanging up those push rods. Well, I'm just gonna hang on the wiring harness too. I gotta let it back down. It's not gonna work. I wonder if I can get those out of there now if I let it sag way down. The push rods are what's killing me right now. Ah, shoot. Damn push rods. I might have to pull them push rods out of there so I can get the engine out. I wonder if I can get it up high enough to... Alright, let's see. What are we hanging on now? What are we hanging on now? Clear most of the stuff. Now, oh, I got wrapped around that. That ain't helping nothing. see, it's a little higher. I think everything might be
Okay. Well, it should be undone. And this miserable sucker. Alright, we're finally getting there. Okay. Rock or something on my wheel here. Alright, cool. Well, let's drain the oil out of it. Rod seal's leaking on this porta power cylinder here on this lift. We gotta fix that. Never raised anything heavy enough to really ever make it leak before, but now she's leaking. Suspended loader here. Alright, we'll let the oil drain out of it and pull this. It's a lot easier pulling this flywheel off with it sitting out here like this. This one here I can probably actually get it on the engine stand. Yeah, you gotta get these bolts out in here. Rotate the crank around where you can get on each one of them and pull them bolts out and then pull the flywheel off. There it is. I need to pull that transmission clear out of that to jack the cab way up. I need to get a lift in this shop too, I guess. That'd be kind of nice, wouldn't it? It's another $5,000 or $6,000. Well, this thing drained down and we'll see where we're at here, I guess. And I might just keep going on it and pull the head on it. See what we got. Where's my bar at? Oh, what did I do with that? Probably on the bumper of the Rivers truck or something? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's right here. That's pretty handy. Everything should be off. Everything's off. looky-loo here. Well, I was pretty certain that number 6 was the problem, and as you can tell, it had a broke ring. That ring just, when I popped it out of there, it just fell apart. Well, there's more than that. All the rings are broke. That would definitely be our misfire. Let me get this the rest of the way out, guys, and I'll be back with you. Alright guys, so I got that piston out of there. Number 6 was the problem child. Here's the piston. Both compression rings were broke when I popped it out of the hole, and as you can see there. So what caused that? Okay, this is a non-EGR engine, so the only thing that can really cause that is a bad injector. Had an injector that wasn't firing the way it should have been firing. You know, it probably just wasn't really atomizing the fuel down into the cylinder. And this is what power programmers do. They eat injectors. Anyways, what happened is the ring lands where the rings, the carbon gets packed around the ring lands and in behind it and shoves the ring out against the cylinder wall. And as the crankshaft is running round and round, pulling the piston up and down, the ring is stuck to the cylinder wall, and finally it puts enough force out on it to where it eventually breaks, and then you have a misfire. The cylinder really doesn't look too bad. I feel a little bit of taper with my finger, but I don't know if it's that bad or not. I'm trying to see here. I might be able to get away with this one with just a set of new injectors. I'm going to get my mics out. Telescoping gauge. I feel a little bit of a ridge right there with my finger. Right, where did I feel that at? Right in there. Kind of gouged her up a little bit there where that ring was broke. No, that might not clean up there. That's what I'm feeling. Just a little bit of a ridge there. I don't know. I kind of gouged her up pretty good right there. God, I hate to do all 6 holes and bore it and all that stuff when a guy could just fix that one hole. I don't know. Wonder if you could get them to cut it and put a sleeve in that one hole, and then just put new pistons and rings on the other 5. Yeah, you can feel where the metal transferred down here, where it was scraping this. It left a pretty good little groove in that cylinder right there. You can feel the valley with your finger. I don't think that's going to clean up with a hone. I got a feeling she's going to have to be completely stripped down and sent to the machine shop. It never fails. These parent board blocks are such pieces of shit. Yeah, she scratched up pretty good there. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to get away with honing it. I got a feeling we're going to go ahead and strip her the rest of the way down, send the block off, get the block fixed. Yeah, that's no good. That is no good. Anyhow, well, I guess we'll strip the rest of it down.